chirp number 5. James Van Riemsdyk, sneaky underrated signing, 25 points in his first 34 games with Boston, 7-18 for 25 as a Bruin, fastest to do it since Mark Savard did it in 19 games in the 06-07 season. So JVR, actually I saw a stat where he is second among best bang for the buck in the league, with like 40,000, the $40,000 per point or 400. I don't know. It's some astronomical.
Yeah, he's currently offering the second best value in the league in terms of cost per point at 40,000 per point.
Yeah,
and that's all NHL contracts, standard NHL contracts, with which do not include entry level deals. So like Connor Bedard contract,
right? Yeah, so it would be standard contracts, right?
Standard contracts,
right?
Yeah, I mean he's been unbelievable. I mean, you couldn't really ask for anything more. He's given you exactly what you have hoped, as far as net front presence goes, but then 18 assists. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I know that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Somebody tweeted to us that he's on pace for more than 50 points, and it would be the first time in more than 6 years that he's had 50 points in a season. So he seems kind of rejuvenated here, playing for a Bruins team that's a contender. Mm-hmm. And he's really been a great addition to the team.
Well, he's always been a Bruin type of player. Like you could see a fit with him.
Yeah.
All those years. I mean, went to UNH. He's a kind of a bigger scoring forward type, grinder type, in the front of the net, greasy goal type guy. Like you knew that he would be a good Bruin. I just didn't think it would be at this point in his career. Like I thought he'd score a few power play goals. Probably he'd be in and out of the lineup. Who knows if he would have any longevity for this season. It's a 1-year deal. I didn't expect anything. I thought he might score 10 to a dozen goals, maybe most on the power play.
Yeah, I thought
that type of thing. But now, Jesus, I mean, he's been really, really good. Well, we're just hopeful that he can maintain enough gas throughout the season and into the playoffs to continue on. And he had a load management kind of night the other night.
Sure.
And I'd look to keep doing that with him, just kind of manage his time, as he's getting older and up in his career there. But JVR's been really, really good. And I've always liked the guy. Like I've always liked the player. Like he's always been kind of a thorn in the Bruins side.
Yeah.
He's always been a guy who's on the score sheet kind of guy. Like, so I've always kind of liked him. And I kind of liked the signing at the time. I just didn't have a ton of high expectation. I just thought it was a nice low risk, low reward, type of thing.
Yeah, and I think his passing is really underrated. Like
that sauce to Frederick was dynamite.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. Like he has really good vision and can really pass the puck, which I didn't realize from not watching him all the time, but he's a much better passer than I realized.
Yeah.
So let me put you on the spot real quick before you move on, because I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. With his contract being so good and the production he's putting up, if the Bruins were offered a first round pick, should they move on him for that first round pick?
Yeah. I would. For a first round pick, absolutely. Like I would. I mean, it's still a 1-year deal. You probably,
assuming you have to maybe even retain on the small contract.
I mean, I guess you might sign him next year at another low cost thing, but you don't have to. So I would take the first round pick if it was offered to me, 100%. I would, especially in their situation.
He won't.
He won't.
No,
he won't take a guy off the roster.
No, the Bruins have the best record in the NHL right now. They're trying to make a cup run. They want the playoff dates. They're not going to do anything to jeopardize that, even if it means losing out on a first round pick on a guy that's basically a rental. They won't do it. He won't do it.
I would 100% do it. It would be risky, but I would because of the situation they're in without a first round pick for the next couple of years or whatever it is. I mean, they don't have a first, second, or third round pick in 25, I think it is.
Yeah.
So they're really struggling with the high picks coming up here. And I would do it for that. I would. And then I would yeah, I would try to like hell to replace it, which you can't be that hard to replace. I mean, let's not act like he's, Luke Robitaille. Like
Right.
he's had a nice year for them, but for a first round pick with the problems that they have with high draft picks right now and the lack of, I would.
Yeah.
First round, like the second, third.